Hello, Berede. Finally, yes. Okay. Thank you. Welcome to Jatelo's Midnight Coffee. Today, we are following up with the Ethiopian general election. Um, so, welcome. Please tune in. There are lots of discussion, analysis, and whatnot. Bere nyede, kipara na oke vare ngade de chenye kipara election man otego pachen, shure mo kichira nya piyoge, shure do mo mutotara. So Yamido mo opela de chain alignment to you chana body. In a kina da alignment to unit malcago. Yimanya gonya degin mo munya pang a gijay, quagging at the marijra, qua message marijra, carna ikala in at the imwamo gumdel geparina cacao link qua quajri, perni dunyi. But the chain election mananeka first democratic election in Ethiopia. As far as I know, if there was a democratic election in Ethiopia, I don't know when it took place. I was not around, but this is probably the first one that I have witnessed. I mean, I'm not physically on the ground, but I'm following up closely. Uh, it appeared to be democratic, and we wish it will be free and fair, although there are intimidations and um, and there are intimidations against oppositions in places like, lawless states like Gambela, for example, where some oppositions and youth leaders being intimidated. But I think for the most part of the country, it's going on well. So we wish the people of Ethiopia the best, all the best, peaceful and democratic election. It's only through election when we can, when we can prevail and be able to take um, the position that we want to be in, whereby, when people disagree, you wouldn't be in that position. That's by only through the ballots, not the bullets. So ballot is the best method, democratic methods of electing a leader. And if a leader does not follow the uh, the process accordingly, then it's not democratic. Then become a repressive system, which we have seen. We had seen in the previous administration that ruled the country for nearly 30 years. They held elections. They had held elections, but the election result takes 3 years, 3 months, 2 to 3 months to be declared. So I don't know if there is a place in the world today that takes that long to declare general election results. So this is the first test for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed that came to power through the uprising, the most popular uprising, which we need to credit the Oromo brothers and the Amara people for their uprising, because they have the numbers. Some of us do not have the numbers, but they have the numbers that they can resist. So that should not go in vain by being impatient. If we become impatient and trying to join the same um, system that ruled the country for 30 years, now they're doing everything to just stabilize the country. That is not democratic system. So I know democracy hurts when it comes to losers, but in any game, there are losers, there are winners. So the best thing is to realize that it's not about me, it's about the country. So kira ni git pany mit jomin na go nende mulai man to nye ngat maya nye we nye de gine mo share. I'm more than happy to nye mo welcome nye madrug man nye mo share ko ni kira nye nagde ngat lai man kwai kira julo del jonno peny barno beru di. So election man according to according to the Aljazeera only 37 million people them 37 out of 110 millions. And area mawadom gikrokil na until September for logistics and security related issues then for that reason some areas including the Tigray region has to wait a little bit till the September. Even in my opinion, I think moving forward in the future, countries like Ethiopia, they should have all elections during the summer or dry season when when the roads are easy to to travel and there no rain that's make it difficult to pass to the rural territories. So this is a very difficult season in places like Ethiopia, for example. It's rainy, muddy, roads are not passable easily. So for that reason, all these issues are not easy to have every registered voter to participate in the election because the roads you cannot the National Electoral Board cannot access those areas, so become a major obstacle. You're more than welcome. But again, you chari election man. Again, you metigo. Again, you timi worigo. Like when we again box, and like you timi ringade. Like question daw jiri. Kapura ya pakuchat nim. Sorry, want to only mal ke the screen my amo. Ma kid mal kay. Hello. Yes, sir.
ወገኖችን በሙሉ ትልቅ ድል ነው ይሄድልና በተለይም ተጣጡ ይለት በጥንቃቄ ድምጹ ሰጠው በጥንቃቄ ወደያ አካባቢ
So nagdadaan mo jire ngatim
ድህረ ምርጫም ተቋሞች ብቻ ሳይሆን
kinumaya mo share kudagin nga knowledgeable about Kentucky election managing. Please
አጠቃላይ ምክር ቤቶችን በዛ ደረጃ ተደራጅተው ወደ ስራ እንዲገቡ ለማድረግ በሚደረገው ጥረት ህዝቡ የራሱን ድርሻ ማበርከት መቻል አለበት። በዋናነት በህብረተሰብ ክፍል ወጦ ይሄ ባልተከፋፈለ መንገድ ጠንካራ ሆኖ ኢትዮጵያን ሊያስቀጥል የሚችል ጠንካራ ድምጽ አሰጣጥ ሂደት እንዲኖር ነው ጥሪ ማስተላለፍ የምንፈልገው። እሺ እኔም በጣም አመሰግናለሁ።
daawwattoota keenya kan simbiraan gahaa jirru filannoo marsaa jaaffaa simbira gahaa jirudha. Ganama kana sa'aatii 2 eegalee jechuudha. Sa'a 12 eegalee hagayyoonatti kennamaatti kan jiru. Keessumattuu qondaaltonni akkasumas immoo kaadhimamtoonni amma iddoowwan garaagaraatti yaada isaanii kennan ofii isaaniitiif sagalee kennanii keessumattuu immoo bu'aa sagalee booda hawaasni martinuu paartiileen siyaasaa filannoo kanarratti hirmaatanis bu'aa dhufu karaa nagaa ta'een fudhachuu akka qabanii fi biyya itti fufsiisuun akka danda'amutti hundumtuu sagalee uummataa kabajuun akka irra jiraatullee ergaa dabarsaniit kan isaan jiran salgaa.
ቆይታችን ይቀጥላል። ከመቶ በላይ የዓለም አቀፍ ታዛቢዎች የተገኙበት ስድስተኛው ሀገራዊ ምርጫ 38 ሚሊዮን ህዝብ በላይ ለመራጭነት የምርጫ ካርድ ወስዷል። እንግዲህ የምርጫ ካርዱን የወሰደበት የምርጫ ጣቢያ ላይ በመገኘት ድምፁን መስጠት ከጀመረ ደግሞ ማለዳ 12 ሰዓት ጀምረን እስካሁን እንግዲህ ዘልቀናል። ከ2 ሰዓት በላይ አልፈናል። ሌላ ባልደረባችን በቀጥታ ይገኛል። ባልደረባችን ከኔ ሳምንቴን እናገኘዋለን። የሚነግረን ይሆናል።
report man kala bangi ngade banga Pana Broadcasting Corporation.
Hello. ከእኔ ያለሁት ጉራጌ ዞን የመስቃንና ማረቆ ምርጫ ክልል አንድ ቡታጅራ ከተማ ውስጥ ነው ያለሁት። እንግዲህ 80 የምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ባሉበት ቦታ ከነዚህ መካከል ደግሞ 27 የምርጫ ጣቢያ በቡታጅራ ከተማ በሚገኝበት ነው። ከ12 ሰዓት ጀምሮ የተለያዩ የምርጫ ጣቢያዎችን ስመለከት የነበረው ህብረተሰቡ በተለይ የምርጫ ካርድ የወሰደው ነዋሪዎች ወይንም ዜጎች ማልደው ነው በጠዋት 11 ሰዓት ተኩል ወደ የምርጫ ጣቢያቸው ቦታው የተገኙት። ትንሽ ቡታጅራ ዛሬ አየር ጠባዩ ትንሽ ሊበርድም ሊዘንብም ይፈልጋል። ህብረተሰቡ ግን ያን ፈተና ሁሉ ተቋቁሞ ነው ለመምረጥ ይበጀኛል ያለውን ከዚህ በፊት ካርድ የወሰደውንም የፖለቲካ ፓርቲዎችም ደግሞ እኛ ሀገርን ህዝብን እንደዚህ እናሻግራለን ያሉትን መመሪያውንም ምረጡኝ ዘመቻቸውን ሰምተው ሬዲ ሆነው ለመምረጥ ሲጠባበቁ ቆይተው ልክ 12 ሰዓት ሲል ነው ምርጫው የተጀመረው። የምርጫ ሂደቱ በጣም የተሳካና ሰላማዊ ነው ሊባል ይችላል። በተለይ ታዛቢዎች፣ የምርጫ ኮሚቴዎች ሁሉ በየጣቢያው ተገኝተው ሊመርጥ የመጣውን ህብረተሰብ ሁሉ ስርዓት ሲያስይዙና ሲያስጀምሩ ተመልክቻለሁ። እንግዲህ የምርጫ ስነ ስርዓቱ ከኮቪድ-19 በሽታም ከመከላከልም አንፃር ያለው ጥንቃቄ በተለይ እድሜያቸው ለገፉ አባቶች እናቶች ቅድሚያ መስጠቱ ደስ የሚል ስነ ስርዓት ያለበት ምርጫ ሂደት ነው እየተመለከትኩት። 4 የምርጫ ጣቢያ እኔም እስካሁን ሰዓት ድረስ ተመልክቻለሁኝ። ደስ የሚል ሰላማዊና የተሳካ የምርጫ ሂደት ነው እየተመለከትን ያለነው በቡታጅራ ከተማ። እንግዲህ ቡታጅራ ከተማ ላይ ድምጻቸውን ለመስጠት ካርድ የወሰዱት በቁጥር 71333 ናቸው። እስካሁን ቀጥሏል ያለምንም ችግር ያለምንም ፈተና በከተማው በተለያዩ የምርጫ ጣቢያዎች እየተካሄደ ነው የሚገኘው። የመራጮችንም ስሜት መርጠው ሲመለሱ ያነጋገርኳቸው አለ ረጋታ ምንድን ያሉኝ እንግዲህ ማንም ይመረጥ እኛ የሚበጀውን ይበጀናል፣ ሀገራችንን ያስቀጥላል፣ ህዝባችንን ከድህነት ሊያወጣ ይችላል ያለውን ፖለቲካል ፓርቲ ድምጽ ሰጥተናል። ውጤቱንም በጸጋ ለመቀበል ደግሞ ወደ ቤታችን ተመልሰን እንጠብቃለን። ሂደቱ ሰላማዊ መሆን አለበት። እስካሁን ሰላም ነው። ውጤቱ ሲነገርም እንደዚሁ ለሀገራችን ሰላም ሁሉም ፖለቲካል ፓርቲዎችም መራጮችም ህዝብም ወጣቱን መስራት አለበት ብለዋል። አንድ አባት በተለይ አቶ ከድር ይባላሉ። እኔ 4-5 ምርጫ ጊዜ መርጫለሁ። የዘንድሮ በጣም ብዙ ችግር ያለፍንበት ነው። በተለይ ኮቪድ-19 ሀገራችን ኢትዮጵያ ላይ በጣም የተፈታተናት ነበረ። ብዙ ፈተናዎችንም እንደዚሁ አንድ ሆነን በሰላም ማለፍ እንችላለን። ማንም ይመረጥ ማንም ለሀገራችን ሰላም ሁሉም ፖለቲካል ፓርቲዎች ውጤቱን በጸጋ ተቀብለው መንቀሳቀስ አለባቸው የሚል ስሜት አጋርተውኛል። እኔ በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ከዚህ በኋላ ወደ ስራ እመለሳለሁ። ወደ ቤተሰቦቼ ተመልሼ የፈለኩትን እንዲሁም ሚዲያን በመከታተል የምርጫ ሂደቱንም በሀገራችን ኢትዮጵያ እከታተላለሁ ብለዋል። እንግዲህ ሂደቱ ወጣቶችንም እንደዚሁም በእድሜ ገፋ ያሉትንም ሌሎችንም የህብረተሰብ ክፍል የተመለከቱበት በብዛት ደግሞ ለየት ያለው ቡታጅራ የሴቶች ቁጥር በጣም ለየት ያለ የተመለከትኩት ነው። እንግዲህ በሁሉም የምርጫ ጣቢያዎች የሴቶች ቁጥር ከፍ ያለ መሆኑን ተመልክቻለሁኝ።
Kijiranya gin mo pre-election man teo nyelat ke pare ga gone. Kel na nya berin de jai mo la teo kanyu bar te wenyu uka ga koye motot. O te wenyu koye mo jide karyo dag yeno. Mo ki postpone koye rio ko na chara ga na be jo pika lengo no. Gina tek election ya chod nyim kijira bara kel na nya bere ni mo ne ke gorbe ni ke nok do jinga nok do ke per na election kur chod nyim ti wonya ta ke per prime minister ke dere ni ti mandate mare man ka put karo nya legitimate prime minister so na cha mare ti wonya election man mo postpone jara go term mare to expired ko na ji mo na opposition mo na ko manyini kiji mo na ba man pa ni ti wonya salam do ye jara ke tiwonye marge be leino ni marge chodwok so begin tiwonye prelat ni election ni chodnyim per chodnyim mare kena ni bere njim no ni gorbin tiwonye akoma kan chodye na election manoto no chodnyim ni bere ke peace and ngati democratic ni yole nganya kare in a peaceful and democratic jara go legitimacy de chiwoya kwa marabi amet ko na chara ko no jami mo na ga manya nyeti la manti go ba rang no ba rang result mo na nyingi mo na gorbi te mo chana Aljazeera ko only 37 million out of 110 are registered to vote in in Ethiopia. But when you come to the Gambela region only jima kume mo dipeng wen ko ye ko nearly 400 something nyingi gorbi then manago kare in a country mo total of 510 we have 37 kare nyingi gorbe ngi lenge ba kany mo to ji ma tip ko ma tibe ngwan ko we nyingi put gorbe bet manago de chana nyi manago na system mo ji nyingi gorbe nyepe nya kare ke pare lenge wala marge giti yu chwada ke par nyete ma jokwal yes sanai ke jira link kwa jiri na kin already matibuna ni link kwa jiri. So Gnatiman, concern dog Gambela. In areas like Gambela, we have concern because Gambela having less than 500,000, and we have a total of 400. Let me find the correct number. Total over 400,000 plus are registered to vote. There is no region that where the total population can all head to vote. Because there are the population that under 18 years old who are by law, they cannot participate in the election. But in the Gambela region, they treat general election as a census, whereby they have taken a number of cards, voter registration cards, and we don't know what they're going to do with it. So this is a calculated move by the incumbent regional administration and is praxis so that they can retain the seat. Danamo Yemet, you're more than welcome. We join man in our open angati.
filannoo deemuudhaan ammallee sagalee isaanii kennuu akka qaban nuti kan qaamne jechuudha.
ክለቱን ቢረከስ ስድስተኛው ሀገራዊ ምርጫ እየተካሄደ ይገኛል። የተለያዩ ምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ላይ እንግዲህ መራጮች ተገኝ
what confused me is that they keep saying that this is the sixth nation's general election, but to me this is the first general election in Ethiopia that is peaceful and democratic. Previous elections that were carried out by the EPRDF, TPLF-led coalition party, it was not peaceful, it was not democratic. So it should not be counted, we should start from zero again. This is the first general election. Otherwise, we should start counting election from Mengistu or going back to Haile Selassie. Therefore, since we are not just counting elections, but we are counting peaceful and democratic elections, this should be the first democratic election that Ethiopia had ever witnessed. So, kejiranya duna temoy joko ni manbe lengo mane bichirgi, pero nearly 30 years mano kar ngati, mano kar Ethiopia, mano kar TPLF, kavijilenga every 5 years, but moga ba lengo mana be show ngati mar just show mar election da mutio. But it's all mare bongo mo bong yana peaceful.
አዲስ ድምጽ በመስጠት ስነስርዓት ላይ ይገኛሉ። እንግዲህ እያንዳንዱ በማለፍ የሚገባቸው ሂደት እያለፉ እንዳሉ እየተመለከትን ነው የምንገኘው። በምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ላይ ለመራጮች ድምጽ ለመስጠት ግርታ እንዳይፈጠርና የተለያዩ ሂደቶችን ለመራጮች እንደዚሁ ትምህርት ለመስጠት 169 የሚሆኑ የሲቪክ ማህበራት በተለያዩ የምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ላይ እንደዚሁ መራጮች ድምጽ ከመስጠታቸው በፊት እንዴት ያሉ ሂደቶችን እንደሚያልፉ ገና ከመግባታቸው ማለት ነው መግለጫ ወይም ደግሞ አጠር ያሉ ትምህርቶችን ይሰጣሉ። በምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ውስጥ አጠቃላይ እንግዲህ ለምርጫ ታዛቢነት 45 የሲቪክ ማህበራት ተሳታፊ ሆነዋል። የምርጫ ታዛቢዎች ወደ 46,000 በላይ የሚሆኑ የምርጫ ታዛቢዎች በምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ውስጥ የምርጫ መስጠት ወይም ደግሞ ድምጽ
analysis money chip doing at the update so far
እና ዜጎች ብቻ ሳይሆኑ ዓለም አቀፍ ታዛቢዎችም ከመቶ በላይ በተለያዩ የሀገራችን አካባቢዎች የምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ውስጥ ሆነው ምርጫውን እየታዘቡ ይገኛሉ። ሚዲያዎች 68 የሚሆኑ የተለያዩ የሚዲያ ተቋማት የዘንድሮውን ስድስተኛውን ሀገራዊ ምርጫን ለመዘገብ እና ለመታዘብ እዚህ ሀገራችን ይገኛሉ። ከ1400 በላይ ጋዜጠኞች በተለያዩ በሀገራችን የሚገኙ የምርጫ ጣቢያዎች ውስጥ ያሉ የምርጫ ሂደቶችን በመታዘብ እንደዚሁ ለአጠቃላይ ለዓለም አቀፍ ማህበረሰቡና በሀገራችን ያሉ የተለያዩ ሚዲያ ውስጥ የሚሰሩ ጋዜጠኞችም እንደዚሁ መረጃን እያቀበሉ ይገኛሉ። ከ38 ሚሊዮን ህዝብ በላይ የዘንድሮውን ስድስተኛውን ሀገራዊ ምርጫ ለመሳተፍ ድምጽ ለመስጠት ካርድ ወስዷል። እንግዲህ ማለዳ 12 ሰዓት ላይ የጀመረው ድምጽ የመስጠት ሂደቱ አሁንም እንደቀጠለ ይገኛል። በነገራችን ላይ ኢትዮጵያ ትመርጣለች ዘንድሮ የስድስተኛው ሀገራዊ ምርጫ ድምጽ መስጠት ብቻ ሳይሆን እንደዚሁ የአረንጓዴ አሻራን የማኖርም ሂደት አብሮ የተከተለ ነው። 80 ሚሊዮን ችግኝ ዛሬ ከ12 ሰዓት ማለዳ እስከ ምሽት 12 ሰዓት በሚኖረን ቆይታ ውስጥ ችግኞች ይተከላሉ ተብሎ ይታሰባል። አንድ መራጭ ወይም ደግሞ አንድ ድምጽ መስጫ ካርድ የወሰደ መራጭ 2 ችግኞችን እንዲተክል ዝግጅት መደረጉንም እንደዚሁ ተመልክተናል።
keessumattuu egaa Itoophiyaan filattii mata duree jedhu kana akkasumas immoo ashaaraa magariisaas mirkaneessitee kan jirani filannoos gaggeessaa akkasumas immoo biqiltuus dhaabuudhaan keessumattuu namoonni galmaanii jiran miiliyoona 38 sun jechuudha. Biqiltuu lama odaa miiliyoona 80 olidha. Mi'amma immoo pirezidaantii bulchiinsa mootummaa naannoo Oromiyaa Obbo Shimallis
kun guutuu Oromiyaa irratti hordoffii akka mootummaa naannoo Oromiyaatti qabnuunis sochii bal'aadhaan godhamaa jiru. Uummanni keenya keessattuu hiree isaa murteeffachuu mirga isaa hojiitti hiikkachuudhaaf karaa adda ta'een daangaa daangaatti ba'ee sagalee kennaati kan jiru. Filannoon kun keessattuu waan afuriif baay'ee murteessaadha. Tokkoffaa yeroo jalqabaatiif uummanni keenya keessattuu uummanni naannoo keenya hiree isaa injifannoo argate kanatti fayyadamee mootummaa ofii barbaadu yeroo hundeessuudha. Lammaffaan siyaasni biyya keenyas yeroo jalqabaatiif karaa dimokiraatawaatiin siyaasota kallattii adda addaatiin deemaa turan irraa bahee kara siyaasa nagaatti, kara siyaasa tasgabbiitti, kara siyaasa mariitti, kara
I'm
siyaasa
trying to find a
galmaatti
new updates.
akka deebi'uuf gahee murteessummaa.
Amanya yajita updates is source maintain, including amanya Aljazeera. But so far, bong update ke internet mudo muchiwo. So I don't know, but we need to keep looking for new updates and what's coming. If the result will start coming in, if there are. But again, it's Ethiopia. We have to be patient.
Arfaffaa fi inni guddaan dimokiraasiin adeemsa. Guyyaa tokkotti hin xumuramu adeemsa. Adeemsa saniifis haala mijataa kan uumudha jechaadha. Boordi filannoo bilisa ta'eef cimaa ta'e uumamee jira. Kun sirnoomee sirna cimaa qabaatee yoo lafa qabate kun institutionalize ta'aa yoo deeme kallattii maraanuu karaa qabachaa deema. Kanaaf kallattii hundaan waan baay'ee gargaara jechuun danda'ama. Kan afaan ol bira qabnee yeroo ilaallu olola baay'ee gaggeeffamaa ture, fedhii baay'ee ture, alaayis keessaas sun hundi hafee uummanni naannoo keenya, uummanni biyya keenya kallattii tokkoon fuula tokkoon bahee dimokiraasii isaatti fufsiisuudhaaf, injifannoo isaatti fufsiisuudhaaf, hiree isaatti fufsiisuudhaaf, fedhiiwwan qabu milkeeffachuudhaaf haala kanaan filannoo gaggeessaa jira. Baay'ee namatti tola.
Yaaddoon ture maal ture bu'aan argamaa jiru akkasumas immoo qabxii taanee dhimmoota jiran irratti hawaasni akkamitti fudhachuu qaba qaamolee morkattoota irraayis akkasumas qaama biyyattii bulchuu irraayis maal ta'e qaba.
Fedhiin ture akka jeeqamu gochuu, namni akka kaardii fudhanne gochuu, kaardii fudhatee immoo akka bahee filanne gochuu, tasgabbii dhorkuu, jeequmsa keessa galchuu ture. Kanaaf samiidhaa gadi waa hunda yaalameef hin milkoofne feel godhanii jiru. Karaa guutuu ta'een akkuma arginu naannoo keenya keessatti uummata guddaatu karaa miliyoona 16 siqutu galmaa'ee inni immoo kinoo bahee filachaa jira. Halkan isaa 10 irraa bahee hiriiratti bahee kun baay'ee waan guddaadha jechaadha. Fedhii ture sana akka guutuutti fashalaa'u godhee jira. Nagaadhaa, tasgabbii jira. Iddoo hundatti uummanni keenya nagaa isaa eeggatee diinota isaa saaxilee jabaatee hojjeteera. Qaamoleen seera kabachiisanis jabaatanii biyya isaaniitti horsiisuudhaaf aarsaa qaalii kaffalanii injifannoo kanaan nuun gahanii jiru. Uummata Itoophiyaa, uummata naannoo keenyaa gahanii jiru. Kun waan yaaddoo ture sana hambisedha jechaadha. Inni lammaffaa fi inni guddaan waanti eeggamu dimokiraasii keessatti injifachuunis injifatamuunis jira jechaadha. Yoo injifatamu akka mootummaatti ce'umsa isaa sirriitti cimsinee utuu qaawwa tokko hin uumamin hireen biyya uummatootaa eeggamee akka ce'u gochuudha. Yoo immoo injifanne mootummaa cimaa inkluuziv ta'e kaanis hirmaachisu jabeessinee ijaaruudha. Kanarratti jabaannee hojjechuudha. Keessattuu waggoottan dhufan kun Oromiyaadhaafis Itoophiyaadhaafis baay'ee murteessaadha. Waggoottan 5 dhufan kun. Kanaaf isarratti ammumaan paartii mo'atu sun qophaa'ee hojii gaarii, misooma gaarii hojjechuu hiree kana qixaan itti fayyadamuu barbaachisa jechaadha. Hireen kun lammata deebi'ee dhufu. Hiree kanatti fayyadamuun nu barbaachisa. Uummanni keenyas paartii mo'ates kana fayyadamuu qaba jechaadha. Kana ta'utu irra jiraata. Amma fulbaana mootummaan amma erga filannoon xumuramee marsaa lammaffaa qaamni keessan gaggeeffama. Kanaan booda fulbaana irratti mootummaa hundaa'uun sun paartii mo'ate sun akka naannootis mootummaa Oromiyaa gitu ijaarrachuudhaan karaa qabsiisuudhaan jabaatee hojjechuu irra jiraata. Sunis akka ta'u maal shakkiin tokko.
Korano nindak manbe analysis mar Gambela maringati mar Ethiopia. But kiteng area manteng Gambela ne ora nyidi yimona grong ngade ke dong manen da maringati andanya lo Gambela hope mar jowa ngani ke ye. Are there the meet ki man ka outcome mare timon ber ke loy Ethiopian ke lo Gambela nagdo aginango nebungo mo bena bo nyi ber timo aginango nyi dawo nyi timo nyi wori ko man ka e kurmin ka go jiranye amanya nyi da mo jiri do idea mo lakini amanya mo share mo ngai nyi oi erke Gambela be man be the first thing ade ke parjo nyenne man ka either then we jurman ya ni kam nya nyan either to survive wala pi cha am right mo ngam thot mo la area mo no to mo dong ngade do ni gitorie ke election man to ni result mare to ni ginu referendum man koni choro kana kono ko jingamo ana ngudi kana magin timenye manya go nyeti menye election man prela da nyamo ke follow or kara ima link nya ko ajiri okay kuana de senaya gine tie dere ke link so kuana wala gine nya teori ngadere ringati gina temenye ko lañ man du nyigo I don't know kijira chang panya bo or kada lañ man link ko aga jiri dai lal maya mama nya kalamo what dana mo ranga kan and also at the same time ma choki source mo dagin mo nyan ki ye so gingati maya mo development mo lañ man timenye mo laña manya nyenga gingati be ngati election man tagi bang ngati na southwest be jogi ngati be jokapa bonga jena be pokape jomizan kijo te piu kwan ye kinyimi yeten kai nyime ni mocha gichi ginango kiduki including Omobale, Kibulia, Shako. Joy Glengo Gaparini get me referendum down Malengo Gaparini go work here at their debut, calling you get to migrate at it. You get to make a state, no, you get to make a region. So, Gingati Manera referendum Malengo Madichain. In like Jamia in a care, get to Mogan at it. Get to Southwest region. No, Mane Keba in it's a great news. Keparanye enjoy get to make a state, and I get when you pay that. No, Kekunda Kuran Kaba, the southern region is too big. No, EI Charadi Sawakuni, I capital Maringati, Marijuna Cello manages too much. So in the station, it's all about resources, resource delivery. In the capital Marichatkan in area, benefit Marangoni ke perjoy nyitang nyai ke penkan tang yimizan ni kanyan. Kono manyanya nyetwenye jamime kana morang. So I wish them the best man ka jamizan the pere ni ke temigra ngate. Ni ke temigra kelil jamizan ke bonga ke jo boli ke jaduki ke jo shwako ni ke temigra kelil manaje na great news ke perge. So lengo man be man to nyena ke penyo a chelo ere manago the good news mo ke perge na ko gano wal kanyo yebar. So far result bo mo jura juro wala man to nye any result mari election around BBC BBC ko ni man be ngati be first vote ke per ngati ke per mar prime minister no Ethiopians are voting in key elections amid rising tensions and the bloody conflicts in the northern Tigray regions. So this pandemic delayed poll is Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's first election test since coming to power in 2018. So he hopes to secure a popular mandate by winning a majority of the federal parliaments of 547 seats. So he has to win the majority of 547 seats in order to form a government, right? If he does not, then what is the next for him? And what are the other parties that can have can secure majority vote? The votes has been postponed in Tigray region, where the army has been fighting the regional force since November. So voting has also been delayed in some other part of the country because of security concern and logistical problems. The general election, the first since 2015, was originally slated for August 2020, but was rescheduled because of coronavirus. Under the initial election timetable, parliamentary, the preliminary results from the constituencies are to be announced within 5 days of the election. So it will be announced within 5 days, the preliminary results while final certified results are to be announced within 23 days. So the first manor kwang kwang the Jomanak Mano Nena Manak Joy leading by this much boat, they more announced within the 5 can get Nene Bio, but result ben chip ka chelvet near Moke stamp, Yakov Joker ben 23 days. So not as bad as 3 months it used to be during the APRD of T. Philip-led coalition party. So why these elections so important? Well, Mr. Abiy Ahmed came to power in 2018 as the nominee of the then ruling coalition, but he has never faced the electorate. He rose to the top job on the back of protests against the government dominated by the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, and embarked on shaking up the country. So election, there wasn't an election, but it was through the protest. Now this is the time now that he has to face the reality of democratic vote. Oro kada kolon man mandunyi ade kuana de oro kada link technology chana chika nya bere chana de ne kwa technology tuni chana ba bai nyu bere ne achamu egen box na ba. Oh, sorry. Akwa wrong ngade jira. Akwa wrong link jiri. We nya chamu ngade. Okay. We ti Bacha kwa na go. Rang inbox Maria. Ngan mo yemet mamanya ya dunya live, please. Ko ngade jira. Ko jang request mari ngade nya ko jiri. Ko na link kwar ke bangor kara. I don't know gen kwar ke perena. Yeah, link ko jiri link na bay malana. Yeah. So link bay malana go nya nya kwang timo chang rangawo. Mhm. I don't know. Wala ginti wala ginagana kuana urukada. I don't know what has gone wrong. Hmm.
ጨዋነቱን ህግ አክባሪነቱን እያሳየ ነው። በዚሁ መቀጠል አለበት የሚል እምነት ነው ያለን። ናዎቹ ተጫዋቾች አንዱ ነኝ ወይም ነን እንደ ፓርቲ ማለት እችላለሁ እና ያለውን ውጣ ውረድ በአጠቃላይ እናውቃለን። በምርጫ ቦርድ በኩል፣ በፓርቲዎች በኩል፣ በመንግስት፣ በሚዲያው በጣም ይህን እዚህ ዕለት ላይ ለመድረስ በጣም ብዙ ውጣ ውረድ ታልፏል። በተለይ እንደ ኢዜማ በፓርቲዎች በኩል፣ በመንግስት፣ በሚዲያው በጣም ይህን እዚህ ዕለት ላይ ለመድረስ እንደ ኢዜማ ዜጎቻችን ተሰውተውብናል። አባሎቻችን፣ አመራሮች ተሰውተዋል። በጣም በርካታ አባላት እንግልት ደርሶባቸዋል። ግን ደግሞ ማንኛውም ነገር ከኢትዮጵያና ከኢትዮጵያ ሕዝብ አይበልጥም በሚል እዚህ ደርሰናል። ስለዚህ እስካሁን ያለው እዚህ ለመድረስ የመጣንበት መንገድ በጣም ብዙ ውጣ ውረድ እየታየበት ቢፈጠር ማንም ዜጋ ከሀገሩ ቢፈጠር ማንም ዜጋ ከሀገሩ ጎን መቆም አለበት። ምንም ነገር ቢፈጠር ማንም ዜጋ
network mana ikadere ngoro. So it's check mathin ni correct mai ngade. So team like bang danam like man tyo network mare tyo. Ni nda lal ma da mu dunya bere. Kwana.
መቆም አለበት።
Let me see. Sorry, folks. Ethiopia, as usual, it's very difficult to find an update. Live, multiple streaming. Wala gin mugura munena manak. This is where we at. Bungin munena maingade. so far mulai nyerai Google in Mogut this is where we at mungkin mana mengada so far mulai nyerai Google in Mogut mungkin mana mengada so far mulai nyerai Google Okay, let me go back to BBC here. So, core analysis on the BBC, the final result will be certified within 23 days. Okay. Let me go back to BBC here. Network might seem like it's not working well. Core analysis on the BBC, the final result will be certified within 23 days. Okay. Network might seem like it's not working well. Core analysis on the BBC, the final result will be certified within 23 days. Network might seem like it's not working well. Core analysis on the BBC, the final result will be certified within 23 days. Okay. Well, Kijirani, you more they have difficulty trying to join me, but I'm waiting for one person that needed a link. So according to the BBC, okay. Well, Kijirani, why are these elections so important? Because Mr. Abiy came to power in 2018 as the nominee of the then ruling coalition, but he has never faced the electorate, right? And he rose to the power because Mr. Abiy came to power through the protest, and that's during the time when the coalition government was dominated by the TPLF. Changes that expected that include creating a new party when he came to power, which is the Prosperity Party, to bring the coalition, governing coalition together into one organization. But the TPLF had refused, right? Mr. Abiy will keep his post for this election. The party wins a majority seats in the National Assembly. It says the polls will be the nation's first attempt at free and fair elections, because these elections there are regionals and also counties, municipalities election. I don't know, the parliamentary election. He's a reformist, as many people know. But you cannot disagree with that. but as far as I know, Abiy is the most reformist. Zeal saw him as win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2019, which is but a year later. He's accused of waging a war, but many of us do know what happened in November 2020. So because of that, they had deployed troops to Tigray region. That's according to the BBC, resulted in a conflict that has killed thousands of people and has led to mass anger reports of famine in the region. But as many of us do know, Abiy did not deploy armies in the Tigray region, but it was the attack on their northern alliance by the TPLF, what they call it, the special forces. But as many of us do know, Abiy did not deploy. That made the Abiy government to send national army to restore law and order, because federal government is has the supreme power that cannot be override by the local military. And the TPLF wanted the democratic process as the best to them in the Ethiopian constitution. They're supposed to maybe call on or activate Article 29. 39, I believe, Article 39, which was called for referendum, call for secession, to become a country. They should have followed that, but it seemed like the constitution that they had written, they did not follow it. So for that reason, that's why the TPLF ran into the conflict that they are in right now with the federal government, which is the Abiy regime. So what does the opposition say? So the oppositions are saying there are more than 40 parties have fielded candidates. The National Election Board of Ethiopia says, but most of them are regional parties. So there are regional parties, as we know. There are this front, there are that front, there's liberation, that's liberation. I don't know what they're liberating, but they're still oppressing people. So opposition parties have complained that a government crackdown against their officials has disrupted their plan to prepare for the polls. Opposition parties in some pivotal regions are boycotting the election. I don't know why my voice is echoing. Seems like my internet is not that. My broadband width is not that strong, I guess. I don't know why my voice is echoing. Seems like my internet is not that. So okay. It's not that strong, I guess. So the oppositions are there are opposition that are boycotting the election. Among them, their own Liberation Front pulled out in March, alleging government intimidation. And the TPLF has been designated a terrorist organization. Some of its leaders have been arrested, while others are on the run or are continuing to wage a guerrilla war in Tigray region. And the TPLF has been designated. So Manakijira and clear, as each day has passed in the build up to the poll, the tally of how many constituencies will be taking part has risen. So now stand at more than 100. The reason is the challenging realities on the ground in many parts of the country. Flare-ups of intercommunal violence and the war in Tigray have meant voting cannot take place in some areas, and have cast a shadow of the election. But the exercise must go ahead. The constitution demanded, as perhaps crucially, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed also need to show he can achieve a popular mandate, which he hopes will give him the backing to try and bring the country together. Yeah, this, like I said earlier, this is why this election is critical as it has to go on, because if it does not, then the Prime Minister Abiy will not have the mandate to run the country. So the election must go on, despite the fact there are parties that are not participating, and that's okay. We hope they would soon will be able to have their concerns being be answered, so they can participate in the late election. And that's okay. Will polls be held everywhere in the country? Well, officials says more than 37 million voters have registered to vote. There are out of 50 million potential voters, only 37. But despite being held as a national contest, elections will not be held in around 1/5 of the country's 547 constituencies, including at least 37 seats in the Tigray, 64 seats across Ethiopia. So there are those seats that will not be participating because of what's going on right now. But what are some of their concerns in some other regions? For example, now we are pretty much aware of what's going on in the Tigray region. So what are the other areas? Ethnic violence has increased in several regions since Mr. Abiy came to power. There are fears that this could undermine the fold. Well, these violence, I don't think they were orchestrated by Prime Minister Abiy, but these are the TPLF tactics that are being played, so that they can blame Mr. Abiy Ahmed. Violence, I don't think they were orchestrated by Prime Minister Abiy, but these are the TPLF tactics that are being played. For example, Tigray federal forces are battling an insurgency in part of Oromia. Also, the federal forces are battling insurgency in part of Oromia region, killing ethnic attacks in Amara, in the western Benishangul Gumuz region. Fighting over land and resources has led to the death of hundreds since last year. As you know, there has been tension where the Gumuz feel like they've been marginalized. And what's going on against the Gumuz people, nobody hear about it. In reality, we hear about the Amara because they have the media, right? But we do know the people of Gumuz, they are suffering. They are being killed in places where they should not be. Even we have seen, a victim being dragged out of the what they call it locally, Bajaj, and was murdered in a broad daylight. So the Gumuz people in their own land, they are not safe. They are living in bushes, but we don't hear about them. So these are major obstacles that will really prevent people from the Gumuz, Benishangul Gumuz region to participate in this election. When you go to places like Gambela region, you have intimidation from the ruling party, where the incumbent think he's still in the TPLF regime, whereby he intimidate, he threatened, he arrest, and he's doing whatever he can to make sure that his party, although his party is under Prosperity Party, which is the Prime Minister party, but they're not following the rules and regulation of the general election, where you respect your differences. And also they have inflated the number of registered voters. Let me see here. General election, where you respect your differences. And also they have inflated the number of registered voters. Yeah, for some reason my network is not that strong. I can see echoing. Inflated the number of registered voters. Yeah, for some reason my network is not that strong. For example, in the Gambela region, where we have to have concern. So there are total registered. There's a region called, within Gambela region, there's a region given to the so-called Nuer, which they were basically migrants without land in the Gambela region. And then the total number registered there of Nuer, the so-called Nuer zone, which is supposed to be the Anuak zone, but they call Nuer zone, which is part of the Tipilip governing tactic. So 273 and 949 people were registered, and the total regional population, total registered voter in a region, 4,385, and Gambela population is 435,999. So imagine, how can you have a total of 430,085 that are registered to vote out of 435,999? This is impossible. Even the entire nation of Ethiopia, which has a total of 110 million, and it was only expected to have 47 to 50 million registered voters to vote. So this is a clear indication that people were registered not because of the number, but either they were double up or the underage are registered to vote, and they are going to vote. Where there are the population that called, for example, the Nuer, who is coming from South Sudan, because the Anuaks, they have been in their land for so many centuries, and so do the Majangir, so do the Okomo and Upu and the others, except for the Nuer, who came in as refugees for the South Sudan struggle, that 1950s, and also the other one comes in or came to the area following the Anuaks that they had pushed along since 1800 from the Nasser to present day. Now they're in Gambela town. So there's no rule of law. Gambela will not have peaceful and democratic, fair, free and democratic election. As we speak, I can say there is rigging going on. This is only seen in Gambela, where you have almost the total population. There are also total population that registered to vote. Does that make sense? I can say there is rigging going on. This is only seen in Gambela, where you have almost the total population. There are also total population that registered to vote. Does that make sense? I can say there is rigging going on. This is only seen in Gambela, where you have. Yeah, network mara that not that ngade wabe. Yeah, network mara that not that. So anyway, kijira ni bungdama ulan man dunya kena. Kijira ni man we are kan. Kabada jim dunya bere jim ak jog nene. Jim ak technology that man dunya. Then Dalama ngatama well and yet doing at the doing participate the pioneer analysis near them with you. Well and yet doing at the doing participate the pioneer analysis near them with you. Well and yet doing at the doing participate the pioneer analysis near them with you. Okay, there's an interesting quote here where the BBC quoted Mr. Ravi saying, because the international community was so concerned about violence during the election, probably that what they have heard from the dominant party, which is the TPLF, the former dominant party, who used to claim that without them there wouldn't be one Ethiopia. So Mr. Ravi has dismissed international concern over the elections and has insisted the election will be free and fair. So when the entire world is saying we will fight on election day, we will instead teach them a lesson, he told supporters at a rally last week. So so far I haven't heard anything that's of that nature, and we hope and continue to pray that this will be peaceful election, fair and democratic. Even the rigging and whatnot, that not be part of, democracy. We have seen elections being rigged all the time in a country like the US, for example, which is very unfortunate. And the last one was the 2016, probably I could claim that was not legitimate, which brought the previous, the now former prime president to the power. But then in 2020, he insisted the election was rigged because he rigged the 2016 election. That's my claim. So, but and also they're trying to abandon democratic democratic processes, and we don't want to see this happening in Ethiopia. So this is the first litmus test against the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and we hope this will be a peaceful election for him, so that he would show to the world that he did it. So yeah, he did it. Anyway, y'all have a good night. So we'll see, and have a wonderful day there. We're in the motherland. When we wake up, hopefully there will be some good news. So yeah, you did it. Anyway, y'all have a good night. So we'll see, and have a wonderful day there. We're in the motherland. When we wake up, hopefully there will be some good news. Yeah, you did it. Anyway, y'all have a good night. So we'll see. have a wonderful day there. Peace and good news. I'm here. I'm gonna get a question.
Jirtu, ijoolleen Booranaa jirtu, ijoolleen Wallaggaa jirtu, ijoolleen Arsii jirtu, ijoolleen Tuulamaa jirtu, ijoolleen Maccaa jirtu, eessa jirtu? Boolee jirra jedha eessa jirtu? Boolee jirra jedha eessa jirtu? Ijoolleen Tuulamaa jirtu, ijoolleen Maccaa jirtu, jirtu, inni gaafa duuba sana jirtu, ijoolleen Oromoo jirtu. Ijoolleen Tuulamaa jirtu, ijoolleen Maccaa jirtu, ijoolleen Booranaa jirtu, ijoolleen Tuulamaa jirtu, ijoolleen Baarentuu jirtu, eessa jirtu? Eessa jirtu nagaaf? Boolee jirra jedha eessa jirtu? Ijoolleen Tuulamaa jirtu, ijoolleen Baarentuu jirtu, geerar naan jettu. Geerar naan jettu meeqa eettalee luure badi naan jettu meeqa eettalee luure ani maalan geeraraa tanoo yaada yeelala dhiirri geeraree kufne hidhaa qaallittii jira dhiirri geeraree kufne hidhaa qiliixoo jira dhiirri geeraree kufne hidhaa karchallee jira karchallee ammoo jira anuu maalan geeraraa tanoo yaada yeelala tanoo yaada yeelala. Ijoollee manneen rakaa gurra abbaa kanneen rakaa Oromoon maalum
Mana yang berbagi jelas calon desa dengan kawannya. Jadi dicaman dan awal.
yaadde hamma dandeenyu yaadde hamma dandeenyu kana caala maal goonuuf xinnaas gabarre guddaa akka wajjin bubbullu yaadde hamma dandeenyu kana caala maal goonuuf xinnaas gabarre guddaa akka
You know,
wajjin
we so far
bubbullu.
man election Tenkan Belat city dengan Belat town cara juga.
Waanuma jiru
Waktu dulu bero kiri de kiri mau ingat. Mungkin mau aku drive. Nyebur mau itu tantan nya ke cari ke lengke. Mana bakal iman ti jai.
kayaan ishiitti qabsaa. Nandoowwiinaa nan dhaqaa iddoo yartuu nu nyaarte amma isheen geessu laalaa akka lamuu nu nyaarre biyyeetti ishii dabalaa. Ijoollee biyya kooti, ijoollee biyya kooti, hundumtuu naadoo kooti, hundumtuu naadoo kooti. Sa'aa keenya ishee burree.
Achala wandesa kerja makal change Ethiopia bedana chala.
Sa'aa keenya ishee burree
Kerja
ishee
makero sepertinya
elma sambaramee qanuuf gamtuu
ini
didammalee.
nggak di mana uti orang yang nyecung. So dudi mau beda mana boleh gam market juga gitu. Sadly, ini na ingat di banyak apa pada itu nak kami nak keparinya pajnya nyerangi ke bangdo parinya una di mana support mau jogi mal kuma penganyon pin ingat di kalau prime minister kamu lagi malah nak prime minister State House kiri per uprising maduto morome ulo man bere kaji. Sadly, atoke in vain. State House kiri per uprising maduto morome ulo man bere kaji.
Hararge manca karran tulam ni farda denji sero ronda gada barran kerron falma murtese Attacken safun bektu ya kerro Attacken safun bektu adarra daba male falma du kerrosi besali manatese Ada eka Ana eka kinab juntane kafatu farda kelloli 4 kilo situ ane ana eka kafatu farda kelloli 4 kilo situ ane kafatu bullo kelloli 4 kilo situ ane kafatu ebo kelloli 4 kilo situ ane kafatu manca kelloli 4 kilo situ ane 4 kilo situ ane 4 kilo situ ane asanga mala mabati 4 kilo situ ane Asangama la fambatu talba fata batati nutidune tokontau walgatkala batati emule abora borri dolamale mal borri borri Asangama la fambatu nutidune tokontau walgatkala batati emule agarbatisa danga ofimantu gadisa Olika
Kila yang nagturo mo winjira man na kinabili mo. Man na kacharo ni karkacha, kinateo kartanjir kacha, kinateo wakata karkacha, kinateo karchale. Ibu mutlu karchale, man ni na yaki.
Nagatita fisales, manama kero jabes, udu karama disodes, sabakul kuluma kuresa, yemule agar bachisa, oromi amantu gatisa. Sabika. Sangao fajenan, ufne bane shakaripi kushanim bitata, kushan tamam bitagarini, ya alama kawe, ka antola labanini ya, marreyo duwe jabanga fabi.
Any news, madam, line manchani go. Madam news, narapain. Please come here. Manba, balik yang muncul di Ethiopia.
Hararge rallola, ada shakar kaya matani, apani siodule, matiram padu matani, burre agatitu, usko masil matidi teditu. Hararge rallola, ada shakar kaya matani, apani siodule, matiram padu matani, burre agatitu, usko masil matidi teditu. Abi. Hararge rallola, ada shakar kaya matani, apani siodule, matiram padu matani.
Praise in peace, brother Chalo and Dessa. I hope and I believe your struggle wouldn't be in vain. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed will prevail. I believe he will keep his promise and take Ethiopia to the next level, which is to be a democratic country where it will be a democratic country where people are free free to decide what will work best for them, whether political party or leader. But they will not go back to where the oppressive system has been since the 1960s, as far as I know. Then they had the monarchy for so many years or centuries. So let us hope for the best, for the free, fair, and democratic election, so that Ethiopia can move to the next phase of economic progress and stability in the East African region. Stable Ethiopia is good for everyone, not only even for East Africa, but for the entire Africa, the US, and the world. Good night, everyone. Stable Ethiopia is good for everyone, not only even for East Africa, but for the entire Africa.